How's it been? The unskippable opening credits sequence, I gotta tell you, every time I see that skip intro and I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's even now that we're 5 episodes into it, it's still like, yeah, I guess I gotta watch this. It's unlike anything that I've ever seen. You know, when we got the script and I was like, wait, there's a dance number? This is Peacemaker. Why is there a... Okay. I've learned to just not question James at all.
You're like, James, I did not sign up for a dance number.
I didn't, but I'm into it.
So how did you react, just to back it up, to the idea of Peacemaker in the first place and John Economos being, you know, a main part of this team? Because we meet him in Suicide Squad, but this is a much bigger thing for him.
I was stoked. You know, we finished Suicide Squad literally just a few weeks before the pandemic hit and we locked down. So I had not been working for, you know, most of 2020. And then James had not been working either. So he was bored and he wrote 8 episodes in 8 weeks. And then he called me. He's like, hey, we're going to do this. They greenlit it. And from the time he told me till the time I ended up in Vancouver, it was only 2 months. Like, it was super fast.
Damn.
And I was really stoked. You know, Economist was pretty one-dimensional in the movie. And with this, he was, you know, I have a whole arc, which, you know, really kind of pays off by the end. I'm really stoked about it.
So you were pulling double duty in the Suicide Squad. Do you play any like secret characters that we don't know about in Peacemaker?
No, I'm just Economist in this. I'm not a shark or anything in this one either.
What do you think,
John?
What do you think King Shark is up to at the moment? What's he doing with his time off, you think?
I don't know. I imagine he's swimming around the ocean or something. You know, he beat his jail sentence, so now I imagine that he's probably in the ocean. Maybe he's killing swimmers. I don't know.
Do you think you'll put back on the leotard? You'll put back on the leotard anytime soon?
I would be willing to. I had a really good time playing King Shark, and it afforded me the opportunity to work with amazing people like Idris and Margot and Joel Kinnaman. And, you know, had I just been doing Economists, that wouldn't have been the case. So it was awesome. It was a blast, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
I wonder if just James going to come to you one day and he's like, I have a King Shark idea. We're doing a show.
I'm in. 100%.
Love that. Well, digging into episode 5 a little bit. First of all, stellar presentation on how the butterflies operate. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
My question is, when Peacemaker he's yelling like all these potential people that you could have put in prison instead of his dad, and he's rattling off so many. It's so funny. Doug the Pug, like there's so many things in there. Was that all John Cena?
That was all improvised. We did a take where I think in the original script, you know, he's mad at me for framing his father, and he's rightfully so. That was stupid, but he's like, I think in the script it was just like, why couldn't you have framed somebody like Ariana Grande? And there was one other name like Tom Hanks or something. And I was like, you want me to frame Ariana Grande for murder? Are you insane? But James was like, just keep going. Start naming names. Just name people. And I mean, we shot for like 20 minutes of John just shouting random names, sports figures, celebrities, singers, politicians. And I would start to say something and he'd just be like, let me finish. And he just kept going. And it was phenomenal. And I believe I haven't seen the end credit scene yet, but I think there's more of it in the end credit, you know, scene, like him just spouting names.
Oh my God. I was going to say, I want like a full outtake of that 20 minutes because it was, that's so funny.
I would love to see that as well. Hopefully it surfaces.
Yeah. We also see in this episode, you know, John and Peacemaker, they start to find their common ground. And I kind of found myself being like, oh my God, like I reacted more strong to it than I thought I would. Like I really wanted them to get along. And I was like, good for the boys. Like they got the same taste in music. They're so cute together. How did you react to kind of just that and them coming together?
I was stoked. I mean, I keep saying stoked like I'm a surfer or something. I was excited about, I don't know where this is I don't know where this is coming from, but I was really excited, you know, because it's all part of the character arc for John Economist, as well as Peacemaker, who, in the Suicide Squad was pretty one-dimensional. That movie started off at point A, and Peacemaker is a jerk. And at the very end of the movie, he's still a jerk. He doesn't change at all, but a lot of the other characters do. And so, I mean, that's the whole reason we're doing this TV series, is James wanted to justify why he was the way he is, and he wanted to dig into that. But in doing so, characters like John Economist and Amelia Harcourt also get to develop. And so I was really happy. I was happy that it was more depth to me. And, you see a guy who's the butt of everybody's jokes, and then he starts to prove himself and become friends with these people. And that's what James does best. I mean, he does action and everything really well, but he was really great with character work and relationships.
I wonder how much annually it costs John to upkeep that beard.
I mean, clearly not a lot, because it's so poorly dyed. But at least in this show, we recognize it. When we got to Atlanta to shoot Suicide Squad, all I knew is James wanted me to grow my beard out. And we got there and he's like, I want you to dye it. Like, obviously horribly dyed. And we never mention it in the movie. So it was just like, I spent 6 months in Atlanta, on days off, I would go to like Whole Foods or Starbucks, and I looked like an idiot with this. And it was never ever mentioned. And I was like, this is a bummer, man. And that was all. And we shot one scene with John Economist at the very beginning of the shoot with Viola, and then the bulk of it in the control room at the very end. So I had to keep the beard, even though I was just doing King Shark. I had to keep the beard for the whole few months, and I don't like beards. It was a bummer. But at least in this show, we recognize it and we use it, for comedic purposes. And I will say that it does pay off by the end of the show. So I'm a little bit happier with the beard this season, even though it looks even worse.
I love how it just wasn't acknowledged in Suicide Squad.
No, it wasn't.
Well, you also have this moment in this episode where you're out of the truck and you use the chainsaw that Vigilante has been wanting to use.
So satisfying.
How cool was that moment for you as a character, but also just to shoot it? Because it was
the best moment. When James sent me the scripts before we started shooting, we got all the scripts, and then when we went to Vancouver, Lars, our first AD, sent out a schedule for, a tentative schedule for the whole 6 months that we were shooting. And I found the date on the, in the schedule where we were shooting me killing this gorilla. And I marked it because that was what I was looking forward to more than anything else in the whole series, was me killing this thing with a chainsaw. I was like, I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's going to be glorious. And we shot it, and it was glorious. And then I didn't even take into account that happens halfway through the episode. So every day when I would go into work after that, they had to cover me in blood. And I was just like, this is a bummer now. I had to sit there for an hour and a half while they matched the blood splatters on me. And it's still worth it. It was a highlight for me, but you don't think in terms of shooting schedules and, I'm going to have to get back in that. I'm going to go home at the end of the day, shower and get all this off, come back the next morning, and they're going to do it all over again.
What was worse, the dyed beard during Suicide Squad and going to Whole Foods, or the daily blood spatter?
The dyed beard. It's terrible. And not because of the dyeing, it's just because of I don't like having a beard. Once it gets to a certain length, when you eat, sometimes your fork will catch part of the beard and bring it into your mouth. Beards are horrible. I don't understand them. I don't get it. I don't get the joy of a beard.
All right, I will not grow one. So no one has seen the finale. No press. It's been held from us. Yeah. So in a non-spoiler sense, why is that? What can you tease about this finale?
That's a great question. I had to go in to do some additional dialogue recording like a couple months ago, where it's something in the sound is off and you have to go back in to a sound booth and you watch the scene and you have to match your voice up with it. So I had to do some dialogue recording for the finale, and I was really excited. It wasn't the final scene, so I didn't get to see that part. But while I was in there, I asked the sound technician, I go, and there were a bunch of people watching this on like on a satellite, just giving me directions for, yeah, do it more upbeat or more like this. So there was a bunch of people that I couldn't see that were watching it, and I was like, hey man, can you forward it like a couple scenes to the end so I can see that last scene that we do? And there's just a voice that comes over my headphones like, absolutely not. You do not get to see that. I was like, why? I go, I was there when we shot it. I just want to see it like finished and edited. They're like, no, they're like, there's too many people around. We don't want anyone to see this. I completely understand why they wouldn't show it to press. Like everyone got to see 7 episodes. Did you see 7 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too big of an ending, and I think it would be impossible for someone to see it, like yourself, if they showed you the 8th episode and not tell somebody, like a boyfriend or a significant other or a best friend, like, oh my God, do you know what happens? You can't tell anybody, and that's how it always slips up. And James and Warner Brothers and HBO were all like, no, we want this to be viewed and like huge. And I remember when we were shooting, one scene in particular, it was the last episode takes place mostly at night. And it was about 21 days of shooting at night. And it was like 3:00 in the morning. And James was running around with so much energy, laughing, going, I can't believe they're letting me do this. I cannot believe they okayed this. Like Warner Brothers and HBO must be out of their mind. I can't believe I get to do this.
Oh,
and
my God.
I've worked with James on like 4 or 5 projects. I've never seen him that excited.
That giddy.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be well worth the wait.
Oh man. Wow. That's a good tease. I cannot freaking wait.
There's a song in the finale that when we shot it, James likes to play the music on set, like especially if there's no dialogue, if it's like mood music, he'll play it on set over a loudspeaker. And it's the scene, it's in all the trailers of all 4 or 5 of us walking in a row, in slow motion, and the eagles down there to our right. It's the song that plays over that in the finale, and it was such an earworm that like someone would show up to work like a day or 2 later and start humming it, and everyone in the scene would just be like, damn it, I had it out of my head and now you just brought it back in. So it'll be up there with the opening credit song.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. Thank you for your time. I'm so excited to see this freaking finale now.
I can't wait for everyone to see it. I can't wait to see it. Like I said, I was there.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
But I'm watching these episodes now. I only saw the first 3. So these last 2 I've watched with, the same schedule as an audience. And it's been amazing because there's a lot of scenes that I'm not in. So I'm seeing these for the first time, and it's been awesome. So I can't wait for the finale.
Me too. Well, thank you so much. I did tell my dad that I would, because I pay for his HBO Max. I said, I'm taking it away unless you watch Peacemaker. And he sent me a screenshot that he was watching it. So.
Oh, good. That means a lot.